Welcome to Control Point Bridge on the Atlanta North End District. Any inbound Norfolk Southern train going to or through Atlanta has to cross over the Chattahoochee River here. Control Point Bridge is found on Parrott Avenue, right next to a large gas facility where trucks come in and out every hour. Sticking out the corner of Main 3 is Norfolk Southern Mixed Freight 395. 395 is sitting here awaiting a crew to take his train outbound to McCalla, Alabama. While this train awaits its crew, my attention quickly turns to another outbound, this one being a priority intermodal from Jacksonville, Florida. NS-287 would be pulling from Inman Yard after getting his work done and ready to head to Whitaker Yard in Austell to continue his work. Leading the charge on this northbound would be NS SD70 ACE number 1013, making his presence known with a very sharp K5LLA. Some of you might notice a high jump in quality of video. Today would actually be the first day I tested my brand new Panasonic HC X1500 4K 60p camcorder. All of today's video will serve as test footage for this camera. .287's train brings up containers from the Florida East Coast Railroad in Jacksonville and heads for Rossville, Tennessee. For now, 287 is making great pace, but unfortunately for their crew, they would be halting at a stop signal at Control Point Mableton, just in a few miles. This stop signal would be given by the Atlanta North dispatcher, as there would be about 4 trains needing to pass Austell in the next hour. So hearing that Austell will be busy, I make my way to Control Point Austell, where I run into another outbound intermodal, this one being NS-26C. Within seconds of passing 26C's power, NS-367 would pass by, headed south towards Atlanta. Luckily for me, this will be the only train miss of the day, but I still was able to capture most of the mixed manifest here in Austell in the rear train DPU. In Austell today, many rail fans would be meeting up just for the sake of being out. Luckily for all of us, the high iron action would be plentiful, and no later than 20 minutes after 367's ET44AC DPU passed, Atlanta-bound 204 would depart Whitaker Yard, spotting an SD70 ACC in lead. 204 distracts us with its short train of intermodal containers, 26C pulls through Control Point Austell and towards Whitaker Yard to pick up a giant cut of intermodal. Austell, Georgia is known nationwide for its busy action with trains headed from or to Atlanta. These trains then split off to either the east end towards Irondale, Alabama, or the north end towards Chattanooga, Tennessee. This particular train carries more domestic intermodal and UPS trailers to Chicago, Illinois, making this train a top priority move for the dispatcher. While 26C makes it slowly and safely into Whitaker Yard, me and my friend take off from Austell and up the Atlanta North End, where we are now in the quiet town of Powder Springs, Georgia. Powder Springs is an upcoming city in the Atlanta metro area which can be distinguished by its in-progress apartments and greatly thought-out infrastructure surrounding the tracks. Unfortunately for many rail fans alike, this city has chosen and requested a no-horn zone, which means no train horns will be blown, only the bells will be sounded. Currently looking south, we can see a control point that connects Main 1 to Main 2 towards the north end of Whitaker Yard. Seeing the signals at their normal all-red state, I choose to continue north to Control Point Clark. Control Point Clark is about a half a mile south of downtown Hiram, Georgia, and I bet many local residents can tell you trains are always stopped here. The reason for this is the last double-track segment until Whitaker Yard, and only 1 to 2 trains can occupy that area at a time, meaning any southbounds that need the yard or passage are often blocked by a train working the yard. Stopped here blocking downtown Hiram is southbound 373 mixed manifest move from Chattanooga, Tennessee to my local yard, Doreville, Georgia. To my surprise, we can see an old Union Pacific Thundercab ACE in lead. Shortly, another northbound manifest would get lined and make his way past 373, this one being 174 with an ES44 DC leader. .174 is a mixed freight that originates from Macon, Georgia every day and works in Inman Yard, Danville, Kentucky, and Cincinnati, Ohio before arriving in Elkhart, Indiana days later. The locomotive configuration on this 174 would include 3 GE engines, 2 up front and 1 serving as a rear train DPU to push the heavy weight of this train up north to its final destination of Elkhart, Indiana. The Directly after 174's tail end cleared Clark, 26C would get signal indication from Control Point Foss and depart Whitaker Yard with a good extra 5,000 feet of train. And after a short 20-minute wait, 26C would be blowing down the road.
Milepost 128.20 defect. Here's back Jacksonville. Milepost 128.20.
As many of you Norfolk Southern rail fans may know, in the past years these symbols have changed a lot. The C in 26C stands for its destination of Chicago, Illinois. While this monster train continues north, passing 373 and now southbound 143-2, yet another northbound is getting lined behind this train, the train in question being NS-18E, which is an empty autorack move from Jacksonville, Florida to the Toyota manufacturing plant in Princeton, Indiana. After getting 2 trains at Clark, me and my friend grew tired of the shot and head about a mile south to the Metromont road crossing to capture 18E in the late winter sunset.
Norfolk Southern, milepost 128.20.
This shot is very unique to this area as the surrounding spots are either forest or city. Atlanta, as many of you may know, is a big factor in the economy of railroading, and these autorack trains are prominent along with intermodals. After hours of a northbound rush, now all southbounds can depart promptly and stay in a southbound parade. Knowing this, we book it back up to Clark to see 373 depart with its beautiful first-gen K5 LLA. The slow departing speeds of 373 provide an easy chase to the milepost 128.3 intermediate signal. With yet another rear DPU passing me, another train is lined, this one being the expected 143 that is now at Clark. Knowing this, me and my friend walked down the side of Powder Springs Dallas Road to the Powder Springs Creek Railroad Bridge. On our walk, we also observed the intermediate signal performing a flashing approach signal, which I am uneducated to its meaning. Now on the northbound facing side, we await to hear 143's horn. The locomotive in charge of this 143's movement is one of the newest to date AC-44C6M rebuilds, spotting a greatly tuned Nathan P5 horn. While we await the arrival of 143, I take in the scene for a few minutes, seeing the nature side come to play in a railroad's operation. It seems to be that the most common operation on these North End District trains is to carry a rear DPU, which 143 was no exception. With the passing of 143, I once again switched spots, now to Hiram, Georgia, just north of Clark. This move was done in anticipation of Southbound 29A's arrival. The town of Hiram, Georgia shows off their railroad history and their city logo, and the modern trains of today still make an appearance. This time, the train would be stopping just short of the main crossing in downtown, as he had to wait for earlier seen 287 to work Whitaker Yard. Oh, I got it. These 3 boring wide cab GEs would make no trouble of stopping on this downhill grade, and would prompt me to go in search of yet another southbound. Before departing Hiram for the last time of the day, we made a pit stop to showcase their city logo and water tower with the moon in the background. It's truly the small things in life. And now, due to some complicated chasing issues, we find ourselves in Austell, Georgia, waiting on more trains. The southbound, now identified as NS 189, escaped us and beat us to Austell, Georgia, where it's now sitting at the control point, just north of here. The reason for its stopping is due to mixed freight 187 needing to break off to the east end from Main 1. Now with 187 rapidly approaching, I found out I don't know how to film at night. With that failed shot, I have since figured out how to better focus the camera in these rough conditions.
I had to adjust the ring at the last second.
I had it on the perfect setting and it changed it because it was on auto.
No!
And dude, no, look at this right now. Look at that. Bruh. That's a focus. Look how nice it is. I figured it out. What? I don't know how I did, but I did. I figured it out.
Dude, thank goodness for this focus ring.
Now that train 187 is clear of all the main lines towards Atlanta, 189 can start moving southbound with his duo of BNSF power running 1 by 1 by 0. Before I even realized, it was nighttime and the moon was watching over us in Austell. This meant after a full afternoon of action, it's time to start packing up to head home. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I had fun filming it. Thank you all for watching.